everyone please rise for pledge allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Gregg?
Present.
Trustee Caprio?
Present.
Trustee Rogers?
Present.
Trustee Sweet?
Present.
Trustee Nancy-Turkey?
Present.
Trustee Darian?
Present.
Mayor Yurich?
Present. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
Oh, yes. I would like to pull consent agenda item H3.
Where do you want to put it?
Probably put it under minutes right now, under E.
Then we can discuss that now.
Correct.
Okay. Any other changes? Okay. We'll go to the minutes. I'll bring yours up second. But I need a motion for the minutes for February 13th, 2019.
Moved.
Trustee Burry.
A second.
Caprio. Any discussion?
I would like to table February 13th minutes. There's a few things in here that are missing. And for one, for example, Carlos' votes aren't even listed on here.
Okay.
And it was I think a 4-hour meeting.
No, that's not this one. This is the 13th.
February 13th. If you look,
Oh, yeah.
if Caprio's votes aren't listed, and I believe he was in attendance that day,
Yeah.
for one, and the meeting ended at 11 o'clock, 10:56. So it was a good 4 hours that we were here, and there doesn't seem to be much discussion, especially when we discussed when Jeannie Patch had presented the liquor licenses. So I'd like more detail of what we discussed.
I just will address that. The PowerPoint slideshow is on our website, so I abbreviated that portion, but I tried to incorporate as much as I could. I mean, if you would like me to go into further detail, that's fine. At the end of the day, when you want additional details included in the minutes, feel free to email me any changes, and we can take care of that before the meeting instead of tabling them.
That's great. I'd like to have them tabled still.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying.
Discuss it. I'd like to review the tapes and use of for it.
Is there any other issue with table for now until you correct it? Okay.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
No, that needs to be rescinded.
Oh, we can't just motion under.
No, sure.
Oh, you revise mine?
That'd be great. Did you made the motion?
I did. I would move, do I need to revise or just move for you?
You can withdraw your
I
motion.
would withdraw the previous motion and I would move to table item E1.
Correct.
Yes.
The minutes from February 13, 2019.
Judge Carpenter.
Why do you withdraw my second?
Or just second.
Yeah, I'll second the withdrawing of that motion.
Okay.
And you need a second for the tabling.
And I'll second the table.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll bring it up at another time. But it's tabled for now. Next would be, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gregg?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Abstain, I was not at that meeting.
Trustee Darian?
Aye.
Trustee Nancy-Turkey?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we'll go up to the consider for approval with consider for approval of December 12, 2018 Village Board meeting minutes.
I'd like to make a motion to also table those till I can further review the recording. I did watch the YouTube video, but it's unclear. It's not all there, and it's hard to hear. So I'd like to listen to the recording myself because it looks as if there's also some things missing, and I'm quoted a lot, and I would like to make sure that my quotes are accurate.
Okay. We don't have to,
You need a second to table.
okay, so I need a second to table.
I'll second.
All right, that's done, that's tabled. I need, would you call the roll, please?
Trustee Gray?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Speed?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Trustee Master
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, reports and communications. And it's simple. Will County Division of Transportation public meeting. Will County Division of Transportation invites the public to a third and final open house format meeting on the proposed roadway improvements along 143rd Street from Lamont Road to Bell Road. The meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, March 12, 2019, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. The meeting will be held at Crystal Garden Banquets, located at 12416 Archer Avenue, Lamont. This went out to a very limited amount of people, so all the people that are on Bell Road and 143rd Street don't know anything about this. So with it being on, Michelle, if you could do something, just put it in there that's about the meeting, and the address and the time. So this way it gives all the residents a chance to come and see this, because Will County did not notify most of them. So that's all I've got for right now.
Did you make the correction? I'm sorry to interrupt you there. The location is misprinted here. It's Crystal Grand Banquets. Is that what you're?
Crystal Garden.
It's Crystal Grand Banquets.
All right,
I will
Crystal Grand Banquets. 12416 South Archer Avenue, Lamont.
Sorry.
That's from March 12, 2019, was, okay, we'll start down with Trustee Gray.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to make a quick mention that Homer Township Fire and Northwest Homer Fire have partnered together to continue offering life-saving CPR classes for 2019. The districts will be offering the education at no charge. However, if you need to show a card that you're showing that you are certified, there will be a $20 charge for the card from the AHA. There's a maximum of 20 students per class, and spaces are still open for the March 16, 2019 class. Classes are going to alternate throughout the year. There are 4 of them scheduled. One in March and August will be at Homer Township Fire Department or Fire Protection District Station 2. And the June and November classes will be at Northwest Homer. All classes are on Saturdays from 9 to 4 or 9 to 1. And if you want more information, you can contact Daniel Ferry at dferry, F-A-R-Y, at homerfire.org, or you can register online at homerfire.org. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Gray. Trustee Nancy.
Yes, just quickly, the Parks and Recs Committee has been discussing a priority schedule for additional parks that they would like to see on the horizon for different subdivisions. And they are requesting that a workshop item be put on the March 20th meeting so we can have an open discussion on park priorities. That will conclude my report.
Thank you. Trustee Perry.
No report, Mayor.
Trustee Rogers.
No report.
Trustee Sweet.
No report, Mayor.
Trustee Caprio.
Again, just reporting on behalf of the Homer Community Festival Committee. Festival will take place June 20th through the 23rd here at Heritage Park. As always, we're always looking for volunteers, pre-fest and post-fest, meaning that we need to help us obtain volunteers and organizations to help us with the beer tent and things of that nature. We're still working on an intergovernmental agreement, which I believe will be hopefully at our next board meeting for approval with the township. As I stated before, the road district intergovernmental agreement's already in place. Still working on solidifying the acts for the band acts for that weekend, and looking for volunteers to potentially help us with a future website for the Homer Fest going forward. We have one of the committee members who's going to be working on a temporary website, and we still have our own website in place, but if anyone's interested in donating their expertise as it relates to a website, we would love to talk to you. You can always reach out to me here at the Village, or Sue Stylen, or even Trustee Keith Gray. And that concludes my report.
Carl, I'll just say that the drone video that you posted just recently, that's amazing. It's really good.
Yeah, he does a nice job for us. We've hired him a couple of years in a row now, 2 or 3. And he does a really good job. And actually, Trustee Gray has a really good idea. If we can get the web design done right, make it look like you're actually on the rides when you enter the website, so that it will be more interactive and interesting and cool looking and innovative. So,
Sounds good.
thank you.
Thank you. Clerk,
No report.
village attorney,
No report, Your Honor.
public safety officials? No. All right, next is public comment. Do we have anyone signed up?
No, sir.
All right, next, we have all matters listed under consent agenda are considered routine by the village, and we will be enacted by one motion. So is there a motion to approve the following items? It's only going to be the two, because it's one off. Accounts payable for the period of February 15th through February 28th, 2019, in the amount of $381,566.25. And the treasurer's report of cash and investments for the period ending January 20th, 2019.
So,
Trustee Gray,
I'll second.
Trustee Sweet,
January,
discussion.
just one correction, January 31st. Sorry.
Okay.
I think you said January 20th.
I don't know. All right.
Sorry.
You guys have me right then.
Sorry, I was getting there.
If you said that, I don't know what that was.
I was getting there, sorry.
Okay, so, we went that way. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Nisbet-Turkey?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Gray?
aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, legislation and action items. Mayor's appointment of Carrie Fairling as a village manager, ordinance number 19-006, ordinance authorizing execution of an employment agreement. So is there a motion to approve my appointment of Carrie Fairling as a village manager, ordinance number 19-006, and ordinance authorizing the execution of an employment agreement?
I so move.
Caprio,
Second.
Trustee Rogers, discussion.
And you can introduce it.
I will. Well, I want to make sure there's a few.
Yeah, I'd just like to, before we bring Carrie up, I would like to just mention, especially for the reporters and the public, that we did go through an exhaustive process of interviewing. We received, I think it was in excess of 30 applications for the village manager position. We did many first interviews, several second interviews with people, and we really did a lot of homework, a lot of due diligence on choosing the village manager candidate. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that.
Carrie, would you like to step forward? First, I would like to say that I'm very happy that you were the choice. And as Trustee Gray said, we did, and you definitely were top some of this, because that's why you're here. But if you could enlighten everyone who we are and what we're going to be doing.
So first of all, I'd like to say thank you very much. I want to thank the mayor and the board for selecting me as your next village manager. It is an honor. I'm very excited to get started to work. My first day will be April 1st, and I am just really thankful. I'm from the area. I'm coming from the next door neighbor, Orland Park, as their assistant village manager and their development services director. But I'm very familiar with Homer, very familiar with the area. I really enjoyed getting to know the board, and during the interview process, I think it was a really good dialogue and exchange of information and ideas. And I'm really excited to get started and start working with the entire community. And just, again, thank you very much.
So April 1st.
April 1st, no Fool's Day. I really will be here April 1st.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
welcome aboard.
Thank you.
I think one of the things that, we had lots of good candidates here, and as Trustee Gray said, lots of hours spent interviewing from candidates from all over the state, all parts of Illinois, and from other states.
Country.
And other countries that had applied. And at the end of the day, I think we agree it was narrowed down to a couple of really strong candidates. I think a couple issues that I think help with Carrie at the top of that list is a really strong background in development. When we look at the town in Homer Glen in the next, just say 4 to 5 years, what's the priorities for the village? Strong development background, close proximity, which you mentioned, knowing the area, not going to hit the ground and learn the area, but coming from a next door neighbor, knowing the area, having familiarity with something like 159th Street construction, having worked with IDOT on the Orland part of that. And so those are just a couple of the things that I think are some specifics that, and certainly one thing I don't want to miss is some of the leadership skills that I think we all agree Carrie brings to the job here. And so we're excited, and it's been since last July, since we've had a permanent village manager. And I will say in that process too, the staff has done a really phenomenal job kind of holding everything together in the meantime. And so I think it's an exciting time, and for those reasons are the reasons that I think, for me, Carrie's standing here today versus some of the other qualified candidates. And so, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I can't wait to get started and dive in and get to work.
Good. All set? Okay. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Nancy-Turkey?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Gray?
Aye.
Mayor Yovich?
Aye. Motion carries. All right, next, is there a motion to approve ordinance number 19-007 and ordinance amending 83-57, definitions 8366D, Class D package store, and 8366G, Class G, beer and wine package sales of Chapter 83, business operations of the Code of the Village of Homer Glen.
So moved.
Trustee Gray,
I'll second.
Trustee Caprio. Discussion.
Can we just have Janie explain that to us again?
Sure.
I know we did at our discussion, our workshop before, but
Sure, this is just a simple code language cleanup to clarify the intent of the Class G package license and the Class G beer and wine package license. So simply in the Class D, there's confusing language. The term alcoholic liquor is being used. The proper term would be distilled spirits because it is appropriate within that class to have distilled spirits confined behind the regular retail floor, and the term alcoholic liquor is a broader term, which includes beer and wine. So that's a simple cleanup there. And then also with the Class G, which is the beer and wine package sales, there's no need to have alcoholic liquor confined. Beer and wine does not need to be confined. So simply taking that out of the Class G would clarify that. And then finally, to the term, the definition of spirits, just to just nail it down, spirits can be spirits or distilled spirits. So it's just very clear what we're talking about in that definition. So this is just a simple code cleanup to remove confusion and clarify the intent.
thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion on that? Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Nancy-Turkey?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Gray?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there any old business?
Yes, at our previous meeting on the 12th of February, we had talked about visiting some vape shops and getting a list together.
I did that.
And I just haven't received a list, but I have been having email issues, so I don't know if the list went out or if how we're going to split that up so that we get to all of them.
I did. There's 5 that I did not go to because pretty much every single solitary place I went to had the same explanation, but there were a few on there that Goddard's was on there. They don't sell vape and it's not allowed inside the store. And then Country Tobacco by Ace closed. They must have moved to another area. The shop was.
Yeah, they're out of business. They're out of business.
So they're gone now. All right. But everyone else that I went to, and the reason I didn't do the last 5 was because every time I went into a place, I was there from anywhere from 20 to an hour for that place. Because everyone wanted to talk about what I was trying to find out about the baby. So, like I said, I went to all the speedways, I went to all the shows I got stuck in, all 3 of them. So no one is allowed to smoke in there. They don't give out any kind of samples. They don't give you tastings of the vape. They're checking the age at 18. I informed them that the state is looking into changing it to 21 years old. We would let them know when it was, so this way they're in compliance. But other than that, every place I went into was fine, abiding by all the rules. And if you want me to go on the other 5, I will, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the exact same thing I heard from the rest of them. So
I also went to the Cabana Cigar Lounge and got a full education on vaping and all the above. And they do, obviously they allow their guests to smoke cigars, and he does not allow them to smoke anything he does not sell. So he does not sell vapes or what are the other things called? E-cigarettes or any of that stuff. But he does allow them to smoke cigarettes because he does sell the cigarettes.
And there are 3 kinds of vapes. You've got a pod, you've got a Juul, and you've got a Chico.
I got that same education.
So each one of them work a little bit differently. The way you fill them. I listened to it, but I was just thinking that I had crazy. Cigarettes are bad enough right now. I didn't do this.
And I did have one question on clarification from when we discussed at the last meeting. When we were discussing bring your own beer, if a place like Cabana Cigar Lounge, if they allow their guests to bring their own alcohol, did we decide, or was it still up for discussion, if they had to serve it, or are the guests allowed to serve themselves? Did we, I can't remember exactly what the discussion.
The BYOP.
I think in general, all of them have to, they're not allowed to serve themselves, are they?
I believe that was what we talked about, but I just wanted
Yeah.
clarification.
I think the staff that is going to be handling it has to be BASA trained, and that it is supposed to be served by the staff.
The establishment.
So all the nail salons, if they bring champagne, those employees have to go through that.
The BASA training. And again, it's from police.
I guess it would be up to us, right, to make sure that they all have their BASA licenses.
Well, we can make sure they have their BASA license, but it doesn't mean that we're going to be there to make sure that they are actually doing the serving.
Right, according to the Liquor Enforcement Division, that the seminar that I attended last July, they said the burden is on us as a village to enforce.
Police ourselves.
I have talked to Will County Sheriff's Department about making spot checks or things like that, and they're cooperating.
Right, then what we have to do is we have to give them a list of the least of the people that we definitely know are doing that. See, there should be some sort of registration form, because otherwise you're guessing.
I remember we talked about doing like a sticker in the room.
Yeah, they have to post their BASA licenses too on the wall.
All right, so we can get working on a sticker so we can put them up there so this way everything's in order.
And it would be first creating the BYO license, and it would have to apply for and be issued approved for the license.
So as it stands right
It would
now,
be a regular license. Right now, they technically, because the state doesn't regulate BYO, if an establishment, a restaurant would like to let them bring it in, they can do that. The purpose of creating the license is so that we can clarify that we have certain procedures that we want followed here. And it says you have dram shop insurance, you have Bassett training, it's being served. If you have an unconsumed portion of a bottle of wine, it has to be resealed a certain way in accordance with state law and all of that. So it just sets up the game rules very clearly about how that can occur here.
And just to clarify, state law does not require Bassett licenses to be posted on the wall, only liquor licenses. They have to be kept on file at the manager's office.
According to the liquor commissioner that serves Conos, that we were told we had to have it posted, where that bartender is serving, according to him. But for further clarification as well, when we say we would be responsible, who is the individual or individuals that would be responsible for making sure that the people have their Bassett licenses? Maybe Ann can clarify since she was at the...
At this time, we do not have any person that is enforcing that.
Right, so that's my question is, who would it be? Are we deciding that tonight, or are we...
That'd be the liquor commissioner, that'd be the mayor. Technically, he's the person that has the ability to suspend licenses.
Because I thought at one point, we had
Actually,
discussed.
the ordinance does say or his designee. I had just enforced the spirit at one of our stores here recently, and that's where that came about.
Well, all right.
Well, I'm asking because, I mean, as a trustee, I don't want to walk into place and be responsible to make sure that if my nail person's giving me alcohol, I want to make sure that, you know.
Well, that's what I said. This is we got to figure out something before we allow this, because it has to be policed more than that, because if you're allowing it, you're pretty much also allowing the hours that they're working. Tell you what, 11:30 at night, I don't want to go out and take a look at the place to see if they're drinking.
No, that's I did that.
I would recommend that when, once the code is approved and the businesses start to apply for the licenses, that as a condition of approval, they provide you with the Bassett licenses of their staff.
I was going to suggest this. But it's still, but even with a Bassett, good, we've got the license, but it still doesn't guarantee that they're going to be the ones that are serving.
Right, because they hire people at all different times.
We're not
let
licensed
people go.
24/7.
The other thing that maybe we might want to consider just for 2018, say 2019, 2020, is putting a limit on how many of these we're going to give out, so that we can kind of get into the shallow end and make sure that this is something that we can control before we have 20 businesses showing up. Let's say, so you know, I know a neighboring village did something somewhat similar to this with a separate issue. Just say they were giving out whatever number we're comfortable with, maybe 10, and once those 10 are done at the end of 2020, we're going to reevaluate and see if we need to adjust that number, whether it's up or down.
Yeah, kind of a pilot.
Right.
So that might need to be reflected in whatever ordinance we put together.
Okay.
So did we decide on who was responsible? We waiting?
Probably me.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I know.
We're his designee. He can
Or your
designate you. He can designate you.
All right. Well, that would be actually something that I would like to see if it would be much better with one of the little county guys if they're out and about, because it never hurts for them to show their face in one of the businesses either. It makes everyone feel a little bit more comfortable. So, well, we've got time on this. So let's just not rush this one through, and let's make sure we got all our ducks in a row first. All right. Okay, so that's it for old business, or we do something else? One other thing for new business, and it is new business. They had a grand opening today for Hempology, and it's CBD oil, and I actually tried it. There's no THC in it, so I'm good. They, you can get it in salve form, you can get it in candy, you can get it in supplements, you can get it in anything you want, and it doesn't do anything drug-wise to you. But the one thing that kind of amazed me, because he says, well, what's your complaints? And I asked him, where do you want me to start? So I told him my hands kill me because I've got arthritis. I said, I'm always tired. And I said, sometimes I'm extremely anxious. So he gave me this stuff and put it on my hand. And within, I'd say probably an hour, the pain in my hand was gone. I didn't do it on my fingers because I wanted to see if there was a difference. If I put it here, does it work all the way, does it not? that's the anxiety that's always with me, so there's nothing I can do about it. But I'm gonna figure out if I have more energy every day. So that's an oil, you put it under your tongue, you start out slowly to build up to what you feel you're comfortable with, because there's no way that can tell how it's gonna handle with you. So I thought it was very interesting. The guy is very happy he's not selling vitamins anymore. He's selling this, and he said that the return on, because you go through a bottle, probably every week you could go through a bottle. Well, no shot, no, it's just a drop, that's all. So I hope he does very well, and from the people that I have talked to that do take this stuff right now, they're all saying it did wonders for them, so hopefully he does very well there, and it stops. If it stops everything, I'll let you know. Well, not everything. I don't want that. No, actually, you know, the funny thing is, when I got home, my son told me that he had a headache, and the guy told me, just put a little stuff on his forehead. So I didn't tell him what it was. So he put a little bit on his forehead. I'd say within 35 minutes, he says the headache's gone. Didn't take anything, so I don't know. I'm kind of a believer right now. Both the same.
Are you their new spokesperson?
No, it just, you know, when if all everyone ever hears is bad news and sad news, this is happy news. So let's give it a shot. All right, so that's it for new business. Next is executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of discussing personnel and to review of executive session minutes? That's a Trustee Cabrio.
I'll second.
Trustee Troy. And we will be out after executive session. There won't be any action taken, so all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, let's go into executive.